Welcome to Modern Dev episode 4, and today I'm gonna show you how you can do filter, map and reduce operations in Python using list comprehensions. The previous episode was about how you can do this in Java with Java streams. I also recommend you to watch this video. So in Python, you can use list comprehensions for doing filter, map, and reduce operations on lists. So what is filter, map, and reduce? Like, the concepts originate from functional programming. A filter operation is basically you define a lambda or a so-called predicate function that basically is called on each element of your list, and then this function decides if you want to keep this element or not. That's done because this function returns a boolean. So if it returns true, the element is kept. If it returns false, the element is discarded. So with this filter concept, you can basically discard elements, remove it from your list. So not removing, because you always build a new list. So a new list is built, but the elements that were discarded by your filter function are not there anymore. So this means like the type of your list will be the same, but there will be, depends on how your filter is working, less elements. Could be the same elements because your filter didn't do anything. Could be 0 elements because your filter removed everything. So that's basically the filter concept. With map is you map each element to a different value. That means your type could change, depends on what your map operation is doing, but the number of elements stays the same. So if you do a map operation on a list with 10 elements, you get back a list with 10 elements, but it depends on what your map operation is doing, different elements. So let's get started. As an example, so the list comprehension syntax is, like the name already suggests, is list syntax. So you use brackets, and then basically you use the for each syntax, the one that you would use to do a for each loop. So for example, you could say for x in, now comes our list. Since I don't have a variable with a list, I do an inline list here. So now we have like basically our for comprehension on a list, and that whole thing is wrapped in brackets. So now what's missing here, what we need for the list comprehension is you have to write this variable, for each variable you have to write it in front of the for. So that's basically your map operation. So here you define how you want to change your element. So because we just wrote x here, that means we just map x to x, therefore we get the same list back. So if we now say let's multiply x by 2, we get a different list. So that's how you can do the map operation with the list comprehension. And the filter is also pretty easy. You just write the if, so our predicate function, after the whole thing. So now we say the classic example, if x modulo 2 equals 0, which means only even numbers, these are the elements we want to keep. So this means we only keep 2 and 4. These multiplied by 2 yields 4 and 8. So pretty simple. Is integers. If you want to do a reduce, you can just use the sum function from the standard library. And as a parameter, you give it the list from the list comprehension result. And now you get 12, which is the sum of 4 and 8. So I really like that. It's super concise, much more concise than if you write classical for each loops with nested if-else structures to filter stuff out. Yeah, much more concise. And for sure you can do this on all other kinds of data types, not only integers. So that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, leave me a comment if you have questions, and definitely write me a comment about what you want to see next time so that I can organize the upcoming episodes. Thank you very much. See you next time. Goodbye.